Hello and welcome to Chakra Radio's The Vibe. I'm your host, Loren Ren Lorino. This month's topic is keeping it light on white light with intuitive channeler and white light healer Joni Eisinger. Hi, Joni.
Hi, Loren.
Joni, you're from Berkeley Heights, New Jersey and hold a master's in social work from Columbia University. Tell us how you became a channeler.
Well, it's been a very interesting road I've been on. I was a conventionally trained social worker and worked in New York City for 10 years doing individual and group therapy. And during that time, I had chemical sensitivities. They became so acute that I had to leave the paradigm of social work as well as conventional medicine. I had to see alternative doctors, and I ended up going to a chiro who did energy medicine and took me out of my conventional training and moved me into spirituality. And it was from there that I say that I was fast-tracked and became gifted with healing abilities as I read about spirituality.
Could you tell our listeners what you mean by fast-tracked?
Well, normally people go to workshops or they journey for quite a few years to get where I am now. I have not gone to any workshops. I did a lot of reading on spirituality. I started reading Wayne Dyer, Deepak Chopra, Louise Hay, and then I started reading Barbara Ann Brennan, Hands of Light, Opening to Channel by Sanaya Roman and Dwayne Packer, never thinking that I would actually be doing these things. I just was very interested and I kept delving deeper and deeper into the metaphysical. Then it just started happening. I would put my hands on people and I would intuit God and I would see white light and energy would come out of my palms and then people would be alleviated of symptoms. I also started channeling departed ones when people would say that someone they knew or a pet had died.
So what is white light healing or channeling?
I like to say white light healing because I'd like to distinguish myself from people who are working in the occult. I say that I work with spirit. Other people say source, creator, all that is, God. And I also work with ascended masters, archangels, guides, and departed ones. So the space that I create is sacred, and I only work with those that are of the light, those of divinity.
So what does it feel like to channel, and how do you do it?
Okay. The way that I learned how to channel was I did personal work. I was in therapy many years ago, as many therapists go through their own personal therapy. And I worked through many issues to clear myself. And then I did a lot of forgiveness work when I moved into spirituality. I highly recommend Shakti Gawain's Creative Visualization Workbook. Also the Ho'oponopono, the Hawaiian prayer of forgiveness, is also a great way of cleansing oneself of past issues that are unresolved. So I did a lot of clearing work to make myself a quite pure vessel, if it were. I read Wayne Dyer's There's a Spiritual Solution to Every Problem, and he spoke eloquently about ego. And if I had any vestigial ego issues, I really addressed them quite deeply. Then I read Roman and Packer's Opening to Channel. Again, never thinking that I would, in fact, be channeling, but I was very curious. Ted Andrews also has several books on this as well. And it happened. How does it feel? It feels amazing. It feels joyous. I'm somehow able to move my spirit aside within my body. I can't quite say where it goes, but Joni never leaves. And with intention of only allowing in those that are of the light, I can bring in energies who are meant to be there to assist in others' healings and readings. Sometimes I can see a person and I have an image of what they look like. Other times most of the time I get the feeling, the personality of who they are. My voice can change. I will know whether they are masculine or feminine. Depending on the content of what comes through, I know the mood, I know the message that is intended to come forth. Because I am a trained social worker, it's a beautiful segue. I am able to take information that's very personal and sensitive, and I can do a little bit of Joni interpretation here and there, pulling out via intention and becoming Joni and giving my 2 cents and then going back in, never losing their intended material and then having the stream go through again.
Well, what's the difference between a healing and a reading?
Okay. I had originally said to folks that I do healing sessions. And then some people would comment, oh, you did a great reading. Boy, she does great readings. And I was trying to understand what people were saying first. And then I realized that I can have people ask me questions about anything. And depending on whether it is for their highest good to have the specific answer given, I can channel the answers for them without doing healing work, which would be through my hands. A healing would include channeled material that I'd give verbally, but it also includes the energy that comes out of the palms of my hands where the minor chakras are. So a reading is a quicker, more expedient way of getting information to that person, yet their body, their energetic system is not addressed.
That makes sense. Could you channel any white light protective techniques that our listeners can incorporate into their day without being too time consuming?
Sure. Okay, I'm going to go in now. The way that I do this is that I kind of click it over with intention that I'm going to channel now. Let's see. If one wishes to protect themselves on a daily basis, they can surround themselves by pink light. Pink light is a self-love. This white light that also can be brought in enables people to have divine creative life force surround themselves. Pink light is very, very good if one wishes healing in the area of self-love as they go through their day. White light is beautiful and divine for those who wish to have protection in the way of negative energies. We like rainbow light as well. Rainbow light can be visualized easily. Imagine a rainbow over your head surrounding your body on either side. Rainbows have all the colors, the rays, and they protect one from many elements. Please use your judgment. Light is not to be played with. Light is divine. Source, or God, has brought light through you to use well. Please be careful when you do this. Others may not understand when you discuss white light, pink, rainbow light. It is your job to discern whether you share this protective mechanism with others. Thank you.
Why, thank you. I've heard everyone has at least one spirit guide, and through your Book of Light forums, I've learned yours is named David. Could you tell us who he is, how you met with him, and how you work with him?
Okay. Well, we all have at least 2 spirit guides that are assigned to us before we incarnate into a lifetime. And I had not known who my spirit guide was. I know of one, and his name is David. It was January 2nd of 2011, and I had read a book by Ted Andrews, Meeting and Working with Your Spirit Guides, and he spoke about automatic writing. So I took a pad of paper and a pen, and I sat down in a quiet place, and I wanted to see whether my pen would move, and it did. And at first I let the pen move. It was very labor intensive, and I decided that I would let the words that were coming through go to my hand, and I made the connection, and then I started writing. And he introduced himself to me as David and said that we had traveled back many, many lifetimes, eons of times ago. And it was from that moment, it's been a little over a year, that I learned that he takes my hands in healing sessions and guides me, and that he also channels information for me, which I use on Book of Light. I run 2 forums there, and he brings forth information to people. He also comes through and gives information to me verbally when I do healings.
I've also heard your healings described as performance healing arts. Could you elaborate on that a little bit?
Okay. I always wanted to be an actress, but I could not remember my lines. So I feel that Spirit is laughing now, saying, well, this is what we gave her, and it fits. I'm definitely a bit dramatic, and I love what I do, and I take my personality and I combine it with what they've given me. So a healing session would be, I call it spiritual performance art. One is an active player in their healing session. I like people to lie down when I do a session, so if I'm doing chakra clearing, I can see which chakras are being worked on. I am very verbal. They are very funny. My guide, David, is very funny, and the others also have a great sense of humor. I ask people to report what they see, feel, know, and interrupt me during sessions because I'm constantly giving information. I'm all around them when they're lying down. I'm up and down. I can go into present and past life traumas and play the parts of the different players who were involved in the unresolved past life traumas to help the person resolve them. And I tone, and the other side brings forth frequencies for healing. It's a trip. That's all I can say. It's a great off Broadway play.
Wow. Now, I know you do some local demos. If you could tell us about those.
Sure. I go to the health shop in Morristown, New Jersey, and I'm there a few times a month during the week, and I set up my table and I let people know what I'm doing. And then I'm there about monthly on Saturday afternoons where people can sign up for healing sessions.
Great.
I also am doing healing sessions in North Plainfield at Inspired Gems, and people can go to Inspired Gems on Facebook, or they can go to inspiredgemsnewjersey.com and they can book sessions with Nancy. And I just began doing sessions and lunchtime drop-in reading forums at the Alila Center in Berkeley Heights.
Are there any festivals that you're featured at?
I am doing the Mystic Mall through Christina Lynn Whitehead. She's a healer and channel in High Bridge, New Jersey, and she has that set up for October. And so I'm a hands-on healer there. And I hope to be at her One Spirit Festival in some capacity this spring in May at the Clinton Community Center.
Oh, that's great.